I would say that I don't have any evidence that God lives, but I have indication, because I did one thing in my life, and it changed my life. I stopped looking at coincidence as coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that we are almost a beacon, and the people that I have working with me, you put off a certain vibe, and it's just, you're a beacon. And that's just the way the universe works. And if you want to talk about it in God, or you want to say, and it's just, I was in harmony with the trees, man. I don't care what it is. And I mean, without getting into details, just this week, I've had so many things happen that are coincidence that to me are indications of God. But I think that's about as good as you can get. But for me, that's good. How do you look at, do you dismiss, not for you, but for me, indications being coincidence?
I think that one of the definitions of being human and one of the joys of being human is finding patterns. Where many experiments that have been done in many situations where people will observe patterns where there are not patterns. We also know that the most difficult thing to perceive is random. If you play Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors, the people that want to play really well will memorize a random series of digits because you can't calculate how to do random. It's almost an impossible thing for humans to generate. So poker players will memorize strings of numbers so that they can do random action. The fact that we have, and for really good reasons, maybe they're just so stories, but they can fit in very well with evolution. We have really good reasons for wanting to see patterns. If you see 3 people bitten by snakes and they die, you probably should jump to the conclusion that the next snake is dangerous, even though that isn't as perfectly scientific as it could be. And what I see, our goal, the definition of science, is to be able to stand outside ourselves. So when I desperately want to believe something, when I feel something really strongly, that's when I most want to go and see if I can stand outside of myself. What Galileo was able to do, nothing could be clearer than that the sun comes up and the sun goes down. That's crystal clear. You feel that. You have every indication. What science allows us to do is to stand in space and see that from another point of view. So I'm always fighting against the very thing you're embracing.
Okay, so, but do you have a, is there a problem? I mean, Christians, the Salem witch trials, horrible. Salem witch trials in Europe, much, much worse. Salem witch trials here in America stopped by Christians. Slavery was a Christian movement. You can't, or anti-slavery was a Christian movement. You can make a case. But
pro-slavery was a Christian movement too.
You can make a case on either way. You know what I mean? So you can't blame religion, because religion, you could say religion started it or religion ended it. It just depends on the choice, the individual choice that people make. Do you have, do you look at religion still, if it makes a person better? For instance, with you, I think what you're doing, it's working, man. It's working. You're a good, positive force. So I don't have a problem with that.
Well, this is my argument with, my friends Trey Parker and Matt Stone wrote the Book of Mormon, the play, the musical. And the point that you just made is the point of that musical. It is as I think once Matt described it as, it's a love letter to Mormons written by an atheist. The point of that musical is that it is okay. Mormons are such good people. It's okay if they believe stuff that they can't prove. That's the point of the musical.
Right, and I think they reached out to me when I was in New York, and I think they wanted me to come see it, and they said you'd love it, and I probably would have.
I think think you would. I told you to go and told you to go in disguise. It would be a big press thing if you went otherwise.
The problem with it is though, if there are things that other people hold sacred, the mocking of those things is a little difficult.